All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is a little after 11, so I want to respect your time and get this short little orientation done. We have completed numerous orientations throughout the summer and in the early fall, but we know that we've had a couple people that have come a little late, so we wanted to kind of provide you with this abbreviated orientation. So my name is Dr. Schaff. I'm one of the faculty members that works with the GEI program. We're going to go around real quick and just introduce ourselves. Lauren, could you start, and then we'll go around the room?
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Dr. Lauren McHugh. I am your academic advisor if you're in the GEI program. I'm sure I've met many of you, and I know we've been kind of trying to get you into your programs of study. But I'm new to Notre Dame myself, so I just started back a few weeks ago, August 12th. Actually, it will be a month today. My goodness, it's gone by fast. But it's nice to meet all of you, and I'm here to support you with your academics and your classes, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all if I haven't already met you.
Thank you. Molly, would you like to go next?
Sure. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Lauren. Hi, everybody. I'm Molly King. I'm the Director of Clinical Field Experience here at Notre Dame. So I'm responsible for coordinating placements for all of your internships, and I will be supporting you throughout the internship process. It's wonderful to be here with you all today.
Thank you. And I think Dr. Mueller is in the room with Dr. McHugh.
Yes, Dr. Mueller's getting on his computer right now.
Yep, no problem. Anyway, he's got his section. We're going to give him plenty of time to
Okay.
talk and share, so no problem. Sorry, I'm just adding people in here. Excellent. Okay, so here's kind of like the agenda. We did the introductions briefly. I'm going to give you a quick little background, bit of information about Notre Dame. Molly is going to provide you with a little bit of introduction on field experiences. Dr. Mueller here. Um, let's see. Dr. Bueller is going to talk about international advising, academic advising, like some of the supports and some of the paperwork that is needed for you to complete and kind of stay on top of. And then I'm also going to show you some of the resources that we've provided for you, so this way it could support you. We know that you are new to not only this university but for also this country. We do try to support our students. So. Um, Sorry. There we go. So just a quick little overview. So Notre Dame, we were founded in 1873 by the school system of Notre Dame. They are a Catholic women's women's organization of women's nuns who they've created their real big theme and their big mission is education. So they started as educators, and they ended up coming to the Baltimore area in the late 19th century. They ended up, coming to the area, this Baltimore area, when it was a lot different back then. So although we are still on 60 acres of wooded campus, it looked a lot different back then. However, it's kind of cool. We still have, a wooded campus. You'll still every once in a while see deer on the campus. So it's kind of interesting knowing that, all around Baltimore, which is all developed, kind of overdeveloped, very bustling, very busy, very, there's a lot of things to go to experience, everything from the culture to the museums to the sporting events. To know that we have a wooded area around here is kind of cool. And also being able to see again, deer and fox walking around in the woods is really, really cool. We serve approximately 2,000 undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral students in our programs. The School of Education is by far the biggest. I think we have roughly about 1,100 of the 2,000 students. So we really are the biggest school by far when it comes to Notre Dame. We are also the largest private providers of educators in the state of Maryland. So our Monist School of Education provides a lot of educators for the state of Maryland and also other states and even countries. So our mission is to prepare leaders who transform the world. For many years, we were focused with we were on we were a women's college, which was our like a big part of our identity. We went co-ed, we went fully co-ed a few years ago. However, much earlier on in our history, we were providing education to all genders, all races. It's just we had a traditional women's college that has kind of now transformed into an undergraduate undergraduate program. So, um, originally we were one of the first Catholics women's college. We were the very first university to graduate to give a bachelor's degree to women in the was it the late 19th century. So our first class had 5 graduates. So it's kind of like a unique thing that we actually provided the first women in the country with bachelor's degrees. We became completely gender inclusive in 2023, and we're known for our strong like liberal arts background, our health sciences, our education, and our other professional programs. We ended up just having a new school of integrated health just opened up just a few days ago. So we are growing and expanding very fast. So some key statistics, undergrad, again, these are a little bit older, but undergraduate enrollment's about 686 people. Acceptance rates about 86%. We have a fairly low student faculty ratio of about 12 to 1. That is pretty low. That means that you get a lot more individualized attention. And the best education master's program, we were voted by money.com. It's one of the best education master's programs for your money. It means we were affordable and we gave you the best quality for your money. So we're located in Baltimore on the Homeland campus. You probably know well. Some of the features is the chapel, which is on the second floor. If you ever want to look at services, you can always visit it. The Loyola Notre Dame Library, which we're at just yesterday, it's a beautiful, wonderful place that you have for free. And it's not just about going and checking out a book. They have a lot of cool features, which I'm actually going to end up doing an extracurricular activity where we'll go over there and do a fun class, probably a maker lab. They have a virtual reality lab, so we'll do a lot of fun things over there. And there's a wellness and sports complex on campus. We are NCAA Division III school. We are expanding our athletic program. We have soccer. We have, they're starting a new cross country program. They have a wonderful basketball team, both men's and women's. Let's see, soccer team, field hockey. There's a lot of different sports. Last year we got to go to the basketball game. It was the final regular season game where they ended up winning in overtime by a point. It was pretty cool. School of Education, just to overview. So we offer undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral programs plus certificate and online options. So we are quite busy and we offer a lot of different diverse programs. Our main focus area is STEM, TESOL, gifted and talented special education. I know that many students that are in the GEI programs focus in on special education and TESOL. Very cool. And we are accredited by CAPE and approved by the Maryland State Department of Education. That means that we provide you with a good quality preparation for becoming an educator. Graduate and doctoral programs, we have a bunch. So if you end up deciding that you really love Notre Dame and you want to continue on into the PhD program, we have not only a PhD program, but we also have a ed doctorate program. So it's pretty cool. That just got launched this probably just a couple weeks ago. Very exciting. And we specialize in let's say educational leadership for diverse learning populations. So it's educational leadership, a very broad but really sought after degree, higher education degree. And again, we were recognized in 2025 for top value in a graduate education program. Okay, so why choose NDMU? So strong accreditation ensures that we give you quality and professional. We're in professional standings and everything. We're very popular into field-based settings, meaning we get you into classrooms. It's not just about learning in our classrooms; it's about learning in other people's classrooms, learning actually hands-on. So this way you actually go into the field, and this way you actually are taught within other classrooms that you will be in once you get hired. Diverse specializations, and again, we offer a lot of flexible formats. You selected a very specific type of program. In your program, you can choose to do a year, you can choose to do 2 years, you can do accelerated, you could slow down and do 2 years. You are there. We're very highly flexible when it comes to you taking courses. So anyway, I want to turn over to Molly. Molly, would you like to take over? Let me make sure that you have sharing privileges.
Perfect.
Yep.
I was
Hold on.
just about to ask. Thank you so
Yep.
much, Ryan.
I am going to absolutely. Okay, you should be able to do it now.
Great. Lauren, I designed this with the intention that the students that are on here today are going to be not doing their internships until next year. Does that sound accurate?
Yes, there
Okay.
might be a few that, and maybe one or two on here that are starting in the
I'll be.
fall B,
Uh-huh.
well, with classwork. But for internships, I think for most here should be in the fall of
Yep.
26. There might be one
Okay.
or two that are spring of 26, but we
Okay.
can kind of think fall. Yeah.
Okay. So I will just speak about as if you were doing your internships in the fall, but please know that if you have a different schedule that you've been coordinating with Lauren, we certainly will adapt this program model to fit your intended completion time based on what we offer here at Notre Dame. So, okay, so, oh, that's not what I want. All right, there we go. Okay. So, for those who are intending on completing their internships next year, you see we have just the internship model at a glance. Please know that this is not the last information that you will receive about internship. We will host specific internship orientations as we approach the experience. So for folks who are beginning their internships in the fall of 2026, we would have internship orientation on campus in September or around that time, September of 2026. So the internship is comprised of 2 semesters. The first occurs during the fall B term approximately. So that's going to be the second half of the fall 2026 semester. That is an initial observational experience. It is part-time. It is meant to give the intern an opportunity to complete targeted observations of not only their mentor, but also of other teachers and related service providers within the building. They are building relationships with students and staff. You will be familiarizing yourself with curriculum and instructional strategies and methods, as those are going to be new for many of you and look very different, right, as compared to the educational system in your home country. So, this allows you to have time to build that foundation, to really take time to observe your mentor teacher, like I said, and to build those relationships and learn curriculum and processes. You will have a series of assignments to complete during that part-time experience, and those will be assignments that will structure and guide some of these targeted outcomes and observations that I just discussed. For that experience, it is part-time, which means you will report to your school Monday through Thursday for approximately 5 hours per day. That schedule is to be determined between you and your mentor teacher. We don't list specific times because we have such a wide variety of schools that we place students in, and they all begin and end at different times, especially based on age level. So, elementary schools and high schools typically do not have the same schedules. So, that's why we leave that flexibility up to the mentor teacher and the intern, but the total hours per day should sum to 5. On Fridays, you will be reporting to campus to engage in coursework. And again, you're reporting Monday through Thursday for this part-time Fall B experience. That is going to prepare you for your full-time internship, which for most of you will occur in the spring of 2027. During that time, you will gradually begin to assume lead teaching responsibilities. We follow a gradual release model in the GEI program. So you see that gradual release model is highlighted in this image on the right. At the beginning of our internship placements, our mentor teacher, highlighted in blue, has all of the responsibility, right? So we are observing, we are sitting back, we are not planning yet, we are not delivering instruction or lessons, right? Our responsibility in terms of instruction and teaching is very limited. However, throughout the course of the program, you will see that the mentor teacher will gradually reduce and release, right, some of their responsibility to you, the student intern. That builds us to full teaching takeover, right? We see in green when the student intern has all teaching responsibility. And you will do that for about 2 weeks in each placement. Our goal for the spring of 2027 is to have you report to two different schools. So we would follow an AAB schedule. So you would start out in school A in the fall. You'll continue with them January until March, and then we will have you transition to another school. And that is to ensure that you get diverse experiences in different school settings. You have exposure to different mentors and different teaching and instructional classroom management styles and methods. And again, we just want to prepare you the best that we can. And to do that, we need to ensure that you have diverse experience so that you are able to apply and generalize all that you have learned when you enter the field, right, for your first teaching job here in the US. During the spring of 2027, while you are completing your full-time internship, you will also be developing and submitting your EdTPA portfolio. EdTPA is a summative performance-based assessment that is required for licensure in the state of Maryland and many other states in the US. This is a national assessment, so it is not scored by Notre Dame. It is scored by a national education company, and it is required for licensure in the state of Maryland. That portfolio is comprised of 3 different tasks. It includes planning, so you'll be developing a series of lesson plans. You will videotape yourself teaching those lesson plans, so that's task 2, which is our instructional delivery. And then we have task 3, which is assessment. So you will be analyzing student performance, right? Analyzing your instructional abilities, and then you will do an analysis and write commentary based on the effectiveness of all 3 of these tasks. So that's just a little snapshot of what to expect between your internship semesters. Please know that, again, we follow that gradual release model. So when you enter your school for the first time, you can just exhale and know that you have time, right, to build those relationships. This is a very new experience for all of you. Some of you may have never been in a US public school before, right? There is a lot to learn, there is a lot to observe. So please know that while it is gradual release and you will be building up to full-time teaching, we will be there supporting you and giving you ample time to get to that point so that you feel prepared. So again, we will have internship orientations for both experiences. So there will be an internship orientation for the part-time. There will be an orientation for the full-time. Those have different requirements, different setups, so we have different orientations. Last thing about this before I turn it over to Dr. Mueller is that during this experience, you will be supported and evaluated by a university supervisor. This is a faculty or staff member who will be responsible for coming out to your school placement to observe you, to support you, to give you feedback, and really just to check in with you and to support you throughout this entire year. So what I always like to highlight is the keyword here is support, right? You have a large support network during this experience. You'll have your mentor teacher within the public school. You will have your university supervisor who will be supporting and evaluating and providing feedback. Think of them as an instructor. And then when you get to your EdTPA, which is EDU 600, you will have instructors in that course as well. And certainly you have the folks that are on this meeting today. You have Dr. McHugh, your advisor, right? You have Dr. Mueller is here, Dr. Schaff. We have a lot of supports built in for you. So this is a lot to take in, but just know that it's not for a little bit. So kind of put this in the back of your mind. You know, you can start to begin to think about while you're in your classes about how you will apply this, you know, in real time when you were in your schools. So thank you all. Thank you so much for the time. I'm going to hand it off. I'm going to stop sharing and hand it off to Dr. Mueller. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Let me see if I can share my screen now. I should be. There we go. Okay. So, welcome everyone. I'm sorry I was a little late. Technology never works. So my name is Dr. Jens Mueller. I am an assistant professor of religious studies here at Notre Dame of Maryland University, and I'm also the director of international student education at this institution. So I'm going to do the boring part, and I'm stay active in this at our university from a international legal perspective. Okay, so please feel free to ask any questions later that you may have. I'll just go over the basics and then we'll just go from there. Okay, so you can find me in my office most of the time. I'm in Caroline Hall on the fourth floor. Some of you, or I think most of you, have already, so which is great. So please feel free to stop by whenever you have any questions or if you have any concerns. I'm usually there unless I'm teaching. So I am the primary designated school official, PDSO. What that basically means, I am handling all your visa documentation. So when you received your initial I-20, I sent you an email, and I am responsible for you to keep your I-20s and your visa information updated, so we do not run into any issues. And that is our goal. Okay, we want to keep it easy and simple. Okay, so as long as we all work together, we shouldn't have any problems. Okay, ways for you to do that is to basically just keep me in the loop, what is going on. Okay, stay in touch with me. If you're a citizen, please let me know. That can be as simple as, hey, I'm moving to a different apartment, or hey, I have questions about my course schedule, etc. So really just when in doubt, send me an email, and I either have the answer for you, and if not, I will find someone who will be able to help you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay. So you probably have all seen the word SEVIS before. Okay, SEVIS is the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. This is the system where all your information regarding your F1 visa and your I-20s are stored. Okay, so this is just the system that we use to keep track on all of you. Okay, so this is also the system that I will use to keep all your information up to date. Okay, so just so you're aware, when I send something about SEVIS or you get an email from SEVIS or USCIS, so you know what this is about. It is completely legal. Okay, and that's just the system that we use. Okay. One of the most important documents you will have received from me, besides your passport, obviously, is your Form I-20. That is the documentation that I sent you via email, and that is also the form that you will have printed out to enter the country, or will enter the country if you are not here yet. So this is one of the most important documents because it contains all the needed information for you to enter and re-enter the United States. So it contains your SEVIS ID, it contains all your information, your date of birth, etc., your program. Okay, so if you decide to go on full-time employment, this will be part of your I-20 as well. So everything you need to know and we need to know is part of that F1 I-20 form. Okay, and this is the form that we will update every semester. Okay, so there are basically two statuses. Okay, we call our statuses that we need to be aware of. So when you apply and you've been accepted through the program, and I will send you your initial Form I-20, you are in initial status. That means you have been accepted to this program, but you have not started the program yet. Okay, so when you have arrived on campus, I updated your information, like your address, for example, and your semester start date, and then your status have changed from initial status to active status. Active status means that you are now a full-time enrolled student at Notre Dame of University, and that is the status that we want to keep until you graduate. Okay, so that is the sweet spot that we want to be in. Okay. So we will meet every semester, okay, to update your I-20. So usually that just means I need to update your semester start and end dates because those are the only things that change. However, if for whatever reason your address changes or your program of study changes, which usually is not the case for you, but still I'm mentioning it, I need to update those information. Okay, so please keep me posted, updated, come visit me so we can take care of this immediately. Okay. Same happens for end dates. So if your graduation date changes for whatever reason, that is something that we need to update as well. Okay, so those are all the information that you find on the first page of your I-20. The second page of your I-20s, okay, because there are basically two boxes that are of interest for you. The one is employment authorization. So for example, as we'll talk about this later, but if you decide to work off campus part-time or full-time later on when you graduate, this will be documented on your second page of your Form I-20. And also the last box is your travel endorsement form. Okay, so usually when we meet, I will immediately sign the travel endorsement form. It is important because if you decide to travel internationally, for example, you go back home over the break or the holidays, or you just want to go explore other countries, I must sign this travel endorsement form. Otherwise, you will not be able to re-enter the country. So please always double check me that I have done this. Okay, the signature is valid for 1 year. Okay, so once I sign it, you should be all squared away and ready to go. Okay, but always double check because sometimes I miss things. Okay, just so you are aware what this Form I-20 is all about. So as I mentioned, we want you to stay in active steps. Okay, so that is again the sweet spot, which is the place where we won't run into any issues. Ways to do that is to maintain your legal status in the United States is on the one hand to enroll full-time each semester, okay? So for you as MA students, master students, that means you have to take 9 credits per semester, okay? So usually one class is about 3 credits, okay? So you take 3 credits per semester, unless otherwise noted. So there are some exceptions. For example, if you get really sick, okay, and you need to drop a class, then we could make an exception for that, for example. Or if you're in your last semester of your degree program, that sometimes happens that you only have to take like 3 or 6 classes. So that would also then qualify for being below that threshold. But again, when in doubt, just send me an email or ask me the question. In addition, you are allowed to take 1 online asynchronous course per semester. So that means fully online, you do all the work by yourself. You do not meet with an instructor on a regular basis. Okay, you just submit your homework assignments and that's it. Okay, so you're allowed to take 1 of those classes per semester. All the other classes need to be either in person, so you meet in the classroom with the professor, or something that we call hybrid. That means you will meet with your professor on Zoom, for example, at a given time each week. Okay, so those are the other 2 classes. Okay. Additionally, obviously, we want you to make academic progress and do well in this class, so that is important as well. We will keep your I-20 valid and accurate, as I just mentioned. And then also please keep in mind that you have to keep your passport valid. So as far as I remember, all of your passports are are new or very far away from expiration date. But if for whatever reason that happens, we always say like keep your passport valid for about like 6 months so we don't run into any issues. And then employment rules, which becomes important for you, especially once you graduate from Notre Dame. Okay, so every international student is eligible for on-campus employment. During the semester, it's part-time, 20 hours per week. However, I must preface that our on-campus employment opportunities are very limited for international students since we're a small school. We're still working on it. But if an opportunity arises, you would be eligible to apply for such employment opportunity. And then particularly for international students, we have 2 trainings available. So one is called curricular practical training, or short for CPT. This is a way for international students to apply for paid internships in their major area. This internship must be a fundamental or integral part of their curriculum. Okay, so what I need to say is that you cannot apply for an internship just because you want a job. So I run into issues with undergraduate students who say, "Hey, I want to work. Can I apply for an internship?" And then I must say, unfortunately, like this is not a possibility because the internship that you are asking for is not like part of your actual program. Your program does not require an internship to be successful. Okay, so please talk to the School of Education or with me about such opportunities. The other barrier for the CPT is that you must be at least enrolled for one full year academically before you are eligible for such CPT. So if you, for example, have already received a degree at a US institution beforehand, you will be eligible. Or if you at least have 2 semesters full-time, if you at least enrolled for 2 semesters full-time in the United States, then you'll be eligible for this CPT opportunity. The other employment opportunity is optional practical training, short for OPT. This is something where you are eligible to work in the United States for up to 1 year full time after you graduate. Okay? So also the requirement is at least 2 semesters full time enrolled, which you will have once you graduate. And then you have the opportunity to work full-time for 1 year in the United States in an area of your major. Okay, so you would apply around 90 days before graduation date. I usually send out emails to international students to remind them. So I believe there is a cohort that graduates in December this year, if I remember correctly. So I will send out to those folks an email here by the end of the month to remind them of the OPT opportunity. And then I will sit down with all of you and explain what the process looks like. Okay, but this is another employment opportunity. Okay, what you are not allowed to do is to work unauthorized. Okay, so that means you find a job somewhere and you don't tell anyone, okay, because that will lead to an automatic termination of your N1 visa. Thankfully, that has never happened before, at least since I've taken over, okay, and I would like to keep that way, okay, because it's less stressful for all of us. So please, when in doubt, as always, just send me an email, ask, okay, and then, I'll help you out. Okay. And then we have travel, okay? So we want you to study and do well, but we also want you to have fun, okay? So go explore the United States and maybe go explore other countries as well, okay? So all you need to do for that is to keep your passport valid, okay? Have a valid F1 visa, I'll talk about this later, and your I-20 with your recent travel endorsement signature from me, okay? Those are the 3 documents you need, and then you are able to travel internationally and come back to the United States, okay? As always, depending on where you travel, check the requirements before traveling. There are different rules for different countries, okay? And please remember to keep those documents in your carry-on or in your purse, okay? Never in your checked luggage. We've had this happen before that a student put their I-20 into a checked luggage and they couldn't re-enter the country, and I needed to plead for grace in front of a US customs officer to open the bag so that student can re-enter the country. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay. Another aspect that is important, okay, it does not maybe require will pertain to all of you, but maybe for some of you, you are eligible to stay in the United States even if your visa expires while you are studying here. Okay, so sometimes it happens that we have transfer students whose visa is only valid for 1 more year, but they started a 2, 3, 4-year program. What that means is that as long as you stay in the United States, you are a legal international student, even though your visa expired. Okay, because the visa is granted for the duration of status, which literally just means like until you graduate. Okay, the only time you would have to renew your visa is when you decide to travel internationally. Let's pretend you go home, your visa has expired. If you then leave the country, then you would have to make another appointment with the embassy and receive your new F1 visa. Okay, but again, I do not think that applies to any of you. Okay, but if so, just let me know and I will talk with you, discuss this more with you. Okay. Okay, and then what happens when you graduate? Okay, so there are a couple of options for you. Okay, once you graduate, we have this thing called grace periods. Okay, so once you graduated, you are allowed to stay in the United States for 60 days after your graduation date. Okay, and also 60 days after you've completed your OPT if you decide to do so. Okay, so that just gives you enough time to, you know, tie up loose ends, travel a little bit more. Okay, and then you can depart back to your home country. Okay, so that would be one option after you graduate. Another option is you could transfer to another university, okay, and pursue another degree program, or stay with us and receive another degree program, or we can change your status, okay. So the most frequent change of status is for international students to move from an F1 visa to an H1B visa, which is like a work employment visa. Okay, so if you happen to have an employer that wants to sponsor you, you know, then we would change your status, and then you would be on another visa. But those are just like three options to keep in mind. Then my favorite part, because I'm also a faculty member, common mistakes to avoid. Okay, because you're all busy, that's sometimes very simple to forget. Okay, never. And I just sent an email to undergraduate students about this. Never ever drop a class or withdraw from a class without talking to your advisor about it, okay? Because academically this gets you into trouble. And sometimes it happens that you even then mistakenly drop below your full-time enrollment without approval, and then it gets into trouble with, you know, CVIS. So please, when you decide to do something like that or want to do something like this, talk with Dr. McHugh about it before you make any rash decisions, okay? Another common mistake is to not update your address or your phone in CVIS, because, you know, CVIS will eventually send you a letter if you decide to apply for OPT, for example, and all of a sudden it does not arrive because you did not update your address, okay, accordingly. So please make sure you always have an updated address on your account. Okay? Working off campus without authorization, we just talked about it. Please don't do that. Or letting your I-20 or passport expire. Okay, so what that means, that's what we already talked about. Letting your I-20 expire is far more common than one would think, because once you begin your semester, you have 30 days to report to me, okay, while you're on campus. If I don't see you within 30 days, CVIS will automatically like cancel your I-20, okay, and therefore your account. And it would take a lot of effort and a lot of money to reactivate your account. So please, that's why I send out an email at the beginning of every semester to meet with every student within the first like 2 weeks or so to have you all checked out, and so we don't run into this issue, okay? But please keep that in mind in case I forget that you always have to meet with me at the beginning of the semester to update your I-20s. And then, as Dr. Schaaf already mentioned earlier, you know, you are entering a new country, a different culture, and it is not easy. You know, I'm from Germany. I've done this before as well, and it was not easy for me either. Okay, so please just know that homesickness is completely normal. Okay, it comes and goes. Okay, even if you're in your second semester or so. Okay, if that happens, just talk to us. Seek support with your peers. Okay. We're all in the same boat here, and we want you to have a good time. You know, just talk to us if there's anything we can do. Okay. To overcome such homesickness, you know, we are a quite active campus. Okay. Now, especially with our undergraduate students being here, there are a lot of community events from organizations that you're always more than welcome to attend. And I'm sure the School of Education also has some events planned for all of you as well. So just be engaged in campus life, and you will have a much better time in that regard. Okay. And don't forget that we are a very diverse community. We have international students from, you know, every continent of the world, basically. Okay. So if you encounter those, respect those cultural differences that you may encounter, and see it as a learning opportunity. Okay. And obviously, you know, we are all here to cheer you on, and we want you to succeed. Okay, so we want to get the best education that we can possibly provide for you, and you know, we see it as a holistic approach that you can only do well if you feel well. Okay, so please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. And if there are any questions from your side, please don't hesitate to let me know. Okay, so and if for whatever reason, I don't know who's on this call right now. If you haven't met with me yet and you are already on campus and you need to update your I-20, just stop by my office so we can take care of that rather sooner than later. And now I will stop sharing my screen. Here we go.
Thank you, Dr. Mueller. So what I'm going to do right now is inside of the chat box, I put a link to a website. So the School of Education really, we understand that, again, coming to a new country, coming to a new university, it can be very overwhelming. You have kind of like, a lot of challenges to overcome in the next, few weeks, few months during your time here. But we want to be as supportive as Dr. Mueller and all of my colleagues here have said. So what we've done is we've tried to provide you with the best experience possible that we can afford to give you. The very first thing that we've provided is um, I kind of pride myself on creating these websites that really help not only our faculty but our students when it comes to communicating things. So inside of the chat box, I put a link to our site, and I'll ask Dr. McHugh to send this out later on. So this way you have access to it. I'm sure you probably already have it, but just to make sure that you have it, I'm going to share my screen again and just show you what exactly it holds for you. So as you know, we have held a few orientations in the past, and this was a shortened one. If you want more information about Notre Dame and all the different programs, you are welcome to go to any of these recordings from our previous orientations. You can see a little bit more information about student life, about all of the different community-based like associations that we kind of say partner with, but we have loose relationships with. There is our school's own religious our we have the I'm trying to remember it campus. Help me out here as the campus.
Campus ministry.
Yeah, campus
Yeah.
ministry. Sorry. Yeah, he. I wanted to try and get the name right. He ended up just getting a promotion to full time.
Oh, Rudy
Yeah,
Dehaney. Does
yeah,
that sound right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound right. So if you want more information, you're more than welcome to go back to either the recordings. So we did a Zoom recording, or you can go to any of the slideshows that we provided. So we have a general little a section here of like past agendas. So this site is not just about the orientation, it is really the home for the GEI International Program. Here's our first graduates from last year. That gives them kind of like the background information. We want to add this to you for next year. So when you graduate, we could add to this the legacy of this program. So we add up a lot of more information. I made sure to put the International Student Handbook here. I also added the the GEI handbook. Let's see, for the apprenticeship and the internships, I added Molly's handbook and also more information about the university, its mission, and other resources. I tried to give you important links and resources to where you can go see the academic calendar. If you want to get involved with stuff on campus, you can. You can see what cool activities or things that are scheduled here that you can see them. Gator Hub, which gives you, it's a student portal for all the different important technology services. Everything from going on to look at your schedule, to accessing your email, to looking at, for your course information for scheduling and stuff. There's a School of Education student handbook. There's information about the honor code. So and again, we also try and provide you with more information. We give you a campus map, information to the gift shop, to the bookstore, special events. So we understand that, again, new to the country, you want to get involved. You want to experience Baltimore, the United States. You want to get the whole experience. We get that. So what we do is we try to provide you with some extracurricular activities. Uh, Previously, in August, One of our groups, RUF, ended up inviting international students to a big kind of like picnic where they got to experience that. Dr. Dupuy ended up giving it's a smaller activity. In October, there is a sunset cruise. It's a paid activity, and it was limited. But there's going to be a lot of instances where we're going to give you a lot of events that we can tie into with programming. I mentioned before the library is fantastic. I work with a nice colleague named Clara over there. She does the makerspace, and there's a lot of cool activities at the library, which you get for free because you're part of our academic community. There's sporting events. You can go, all the sporting events on campus are free. And the students love to see other students come and cheer them on. So this way you can actually show, some pride in the university. You can actually show some team spirit. I took last year's GEIs to a basketball game and loved it. I'm planning on going and seeing if I can come up with an activity in the fall and maybe an activity in the spring. So this way we can at least go and see two games, and again, they're free, so it's nice, and they want you to cheer them on. So anyway, so special events, I will put information here for you, and there's also the NDMU calendar of events. There's the 7-day email, which will give you kind of like inside your inbox. It gives you like links to events that are going on around campus. I know that you're in schools a lot. You have a full program, but there are some things in the weekends or at night that you might be interested in. Why not go and take a look? It's there, and it's typically for free. I also gave you Instagram links to different social media accounts that we hold on campus. We are keeping information about alumni. So when you graduate, we'll put information in here. I'm still working on this a little bit. We provided a little bit of a around town kind of packet. So if you want to click on this, it's just a document of some really cool things around town that you can absolutely, Baltimore is, you have the Inner Harbor that's just like a bus trip away or Uber ride away. And there's a lot of things to do in the Inner Harbor. There's a lot of great restaurants, museums. There's the aquarium, the Maryland Science Center's down there. It's a lot of fun. So if you have a family or if you just want to go and have some fun, go down there. It's great. Just, of course, you always want to, with any big metropolitan city, you want to always be careful and keep yourself secure and safe. Okay? At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. McHugh for any of her announcements, any of her content. I will stop sharing so you can see her awesome face. So give me a second.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shop. Hi, everybody. I really don't have anything in particular I need to tell you, just that if you haven't met with me yet, please come. But I think I have met with all of you if you're here. If anyone is coming, then please make sure you meet with me when you arrive, as well as Dr. Mueller also. We talk about registering for classes. This is something that's kind of changing, and we talked about, so your first semester here, I will register with you for your classes. Moving forward, you're going to register yourself. However, I'm going to have drop-in times for us to register all together. So we're all in the same room. So I'm going to set up here in room 300 and invite you in. I'll let you know on those times. There'll be various times. I have in-person office hours every Friday from 12 to 1. So those of you who are here for classes, in between those two classes, you can definitely come see me. Any questions about if you're going to be dropping a class like Dr. Miller mentioned, you have to let me know. If you want to do a change in your program, which we don't recommend, it's not always easy once you start to change, but any changes or you consult me about anything, please let me know. I'm always available. Also, if you're having difficulty with a class, please feel free to reach out. I had a student that just came in to see me the other day and about an assignment, and we worked through it together so that she could understand. That's part of my job as an academic advisor. And, I'm very willing to help you through that. So, I look forward to seeing all of you and especially as you go through the process. I know Miss Molly King needs to go off pretty soon, but if there's
I
any
do,
question.
yeah. Does
Yeah, she's
anyone have
got
any
another
questions
meeting.
specific to me? I have to hop off in a
Yeah.
couple minutes for another meeting. But I'm going to, I know Ryan, it's on the website that is in here, but just so you have it for quick glance, I'm putting my email in the chat. Should you have a specific question? And like Lauren said, I don't necessarily have formal office hours. I'm not an advisor, but I am in the office on Fridays when many of you are there for class, and I'm there during the week as well. So I'm certainly happy to meet in person or virtually to discuss anything you have going on, and I'll be on campus tomorrow, should you have any questions for me.
Great. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you, Ryan,
All
and
right.
thank you, Jens.
Any questions from the group?
Hi everyone. I don't have my name is Ting Ting, and I don't have any specific questions. I just want to say thank you for this very helpful information, and thank you for your help and support all the time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, thanks,
Thank
Ting
you
Ting.
very
Thank
much.
you.
I have a question. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, Alicia.
So I guess because we will be doing internship pretty soon, like for the immunizations, and then the internship things, like will there be an orientation or information for that? Because I think there was one, but I was in China, so.
So, regarding what you first shared regarding immunizations, that's separate. That's a separate, that has nothing to do with internship. So that information, Lauren will share with you. Nicholas Armstrong Wright is our, I don't know what his title is, Associate Dean of Student Life. He will handle any questions you have or will be able to direct you to the appropriate folks for immunizations. Immunizations are not required for the internship. That's an NDMU on campus in-person class requirement that the university has. It is not required by the internship public schools. What is required for internships in public schools is fingerprinting. You will need to get your fingerprints taken, and they will use that information and also conduct a background check to ensure that you are cleared to begin to work in a, or not work, but intern in a school. So the whoever just asked the question, are you going to be starting your internship in October? Are you starting
Yeah.
soon? Okay.
I think in October, if I don't remember it wrong.
Are you graduating in May of 2027?
Yes.
Or 2026, I'm sorry, May of 2026.
Yep.
Okay. So then, yes, you will be starting. So did you receive fingerprinting information from me yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I'm going to ask that I just put my email address in the chat for you.
Yep.
Send me an email, okay? I have to hop off. So send me an email so that way I have your name and information, and then I'm going to send you what you need to do to prepare for that.
Okay. All right.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks everybody. I've got to hop off, but like I said, my email is there if you're in a similar scenario or if you have questions, okay? And Lauren, you're going to help also distribute. I know it was on the website too, but Nick's information as well, should they have questions about
Yes.
immunization.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, everybody.